got something to prove. I can't speak soberly for you, but I got suspicion. Call my name, here come Plain Jane. She's insane, takes more pain than you've seen. Straight
trigger, please put me out my misery. The pain is something, so I best just let it be. Can't hardly think, cause my thoughts are like racing, man. Don't get me mad, cause you don't know what you're facing, man. I just snap and black out and then thud. I come to and you're all bloody in the mud. That's the way it goes when you miss a lithium dose. Suicidal thoughts, cock it back and I'm ghost. Can't hold me in, can't hold me down. There's a little less constant now. Roll me away, roll me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away. Can't hold me in, can't hold me down. There's a little less constant now. Roll me away, roll me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away. The sickness worsens, it spreads just like a virus. Contaminated, but them snitches always find us. On the run, trying to hide from my vertigo. Real high, medicated, suffocated though. I got no rules, no love, no way for you to understand. I got no game, no time, won't let you know that I'm the man that lets loose and understands his own destiny. I gotta take my life and show you all the best of me. Can't hold me in, can't hold me down. There's a little less constant now. Blow me away, blow me away, blow me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away. Can't hold me in, can't hold me down. There's a little less constant now. Blow me away, blow me away, blow me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away. Move a trigger, please put me out my misery. The pain is something, so I best just let it be. Blow me away, blow me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away. Pull the trigger, please put me out my misery. The pain is something, so I best just let it be. Blow me away, blow me away. Put your gun up to my head, blow me away.
It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. Fucking hours. It costs that much cause I don't have superpowers. Superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours.
Well, Jimmy's not here. Well, she's in the chat. I fucked that up. You know, you try to prepare for the show, and you got a little, especially when you do two different, it's the same show, but you do two different ones. Like on Friday nights, it's me and Jimmy, and then Saturday nights, it's me and a guest, or it's me by myself, or it's, you know, me in my underwear, you know, crying, wondering where it all went wrong. That's a Scooby-Doo mystery that'll probably never get solved. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right this evening. Happy Saturday night / Sunday morning, depending on your geography. This is The Secret Show. I'm your host, Uncle Warren. And I'm going to bring Jesse in here in just a few minutes. First off, for all of you, we need to check out... This is kind of sad. I don't know what's going on here. Let me check this out real quick because there's the chickens are gone. I don't know what happened to the chickens. So this is like the third night in a row. Anyway, but I do have one chicken, and this chicken has a message, and like, oh my God, what the fuck? What kind of satanic ritual is this? Somebody might draw a salt circle. So yeah, anyway, That was wild. So yeah, if you could like, share, subscribe, you know, all that score. And I forget to tell people to ring the bell where you can get all the notifications. Sometimes they get notifications, sometimes they don't, and that's just a good. Oh, hey buddy, you calm down there, okay? Anyway, let me shout out the chat real quick. We got gamers here. Cynical girl, good to see you. Yona, always a pleasure. Jesse, of course, mingling in the chat. Brandy, good to see you, of course. We got Kate's here too. Always a pleasure. Pretty decent little crowd here. Not too shabby for a little Saturday night after party. I know Ghost Start is here, and Miss Jimmy is here too. My sweet, good to see you. Snickle Fritz, you know who you are. You behave yourself tonight, Snickle. Otherwise, it gets the hose again. And I'm not even going to tell you to put the lotion in the basket. Ed Heller, good to see you, brother. I know you're always lurking like the Batman that you are. Dolores, thank you so much. Miguel, good to see you. And you know, enough about me. Let's get this guy in here. Live from Camp David.
Oh, hi.
There he is. Brokering peace deals left and right. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Yeah, excellent. It's so good to be back. So good to see you again.
Oh, it's good to see you too. I tell you, man, it was we did the Rando Roundtable Thursday night, and I was engineering that, and I was nervous as fuck. I gotta tell you, I was nervous, and that's like not graphics intensive. It's just like one screen, and then you got everybody behind the thing, and it's fine. And you know, but this is like all kinds of bells and whistles and stuff like that. So anyway, but
and
yeah, it's good to be back.
Like 3 pages of just bullshit requests.
I know, right? So Jesse is he is our timeline cleanser for life. So I hope you guys really enjoy the show this evening. But I'm
here to cleanse.
Before we get the musical festivities underway, you and I spoke briefly before the show about you were doing your Casey Kasem impression, right? And yeah, and you know, it's very good impression. You do very good impressions, by the way. So and I kind of did my little Casey Kasem, and then I said, "Oh my goodness, Jesse, have you ever heard the Casey Kasem rant where he just totally loses his shit?" And Jesse, you did reply,
"I have not." And I was very excited to hear it.
So, and we're not going to wait till the very end. I'm not going to be one of those assholes. It's like, well, you got to stick around to the end and see what we got. Nah, fuck it. We're going to give it to you right off the bat because we want to get into this music.
I can't picture him in my head like losing it. I picture him like, the answer to how few fucks I give lies in a song from 1963.
Okay, so let me see. Let me make sure I got this set up here. Okay, so I don't know if there's video to it, but you don't need. I mean, there's definitely no video of it. This is a straight up audio recording, and I think this is like from the late 80s and early. It's got to be late 80s because I heard this like early 90s when I was in radio. It's kind of one of those rite of passage things. When you work in radio, you got to listen to the Casey Kasem thing. So
like Winnebago Man, it's just one of those things that passed around through like legends.
Exactly. So let me see if I can go ahead and play this, and I hope it works. Oops. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Oh no, I hope I didn't hype this up. Just a second here. Something is amiss at the Circle K. Oh, okay. All right. I got it now. I got it. I had some issues last night, but not anymore. Okay. Here we go.
The countdown will begin this Sunday afternoon at 1, right here on the radio station you grew up with, Music Radio 138. Oh, fuck. What the hell's going on here? Oh, geez, well, isn't it the last hour? We got another hour to do? Geez, I thought we were almost finished. Good golly, Miss Molly. Boy, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. American Top 40 has moved to a new time. I hope you'll join me this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning at 2. Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please.
Here it comes.
See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Just last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is, that's up-tempo, and I gotta talk about a fucking dog dying.
Yeah, so that's, we called him Cussin' Casey back in the day. And,
oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I did you get to hear all of that? I'm sorry, I kind of plugged it in at the end. I was hopefully
no, you're fine. I listened to it through YouTube. I listened to it straight from the source,
right,
and then you kicked it in. So yeah,
very good.
That's stellar.
I got to tell you,
I agree with him. How do you come in off of some like ABBA song and be like, and a dedication for a family death? You know, it's just like what an awkward. Yeah,
It's a little dog named Snuggles, and God damn it, I gotta come out of a fucking up-tempo record. This Don on the phone. My favorite is I have a buddy.
Concerted effort.
I have a buddy like in real life named Don, and every time I'd call him, he would be like, "Hello." I go, "Is Don on the phone?" And where are those fucking pictures I was supposed to see? Fucking ponderous.
Oh God.
Anyway, life is not complete until you hear Casey Kasem with the potty mouth. So, you know, you can die happy now, Jesse.
Thank you. I needed that.
So, gamer, you gotta be serious. You can't. Wait a minute. Are you telling me you don't know who Casey Kasem is? Gamer, you're not. No offense, brother. You ain't that young. Come on, man. You know who Casey is. Hey, Amber. Good to see you. Hope everyone is good in your neck of the woods. We got Fred Edward. I think Fred popped his head in like a few hours ago on Rockfin. So don't know if he'll be returning or not. We shall see. But anyway, so Jesse, what's been going on with you? I know you and I we kind of talked well, at least through DMs on Twitter since I was off. So, but what's been going on with you?
Not much. I mean, after I put out the new albums in the beginning of July, it's been working on some new stuff. Actually, tonight was the first night I sat down and did my first like real recording session for anything for the next album. Well, 2 albums. I'm gonna do like I did for the Grift, where I put out a music record and then a spoken word thing same day. So I'll be doing that this next go around. I'll be doing a spoken word album called The Co-opt, and then a collection of songs called Everyone Who Disagrees with You is an Extremist and Other Fanciful Tales. that
That's awesome.
that I'm excited about. I had a few instrumentals that I was working on, and dare I say, it's just a little more pop, just a little more like not pop, but like slightly more upbeat on some stuff. It's got a good beat and you can dance to it, kind of things, but still obviously the same subject material. And I was like, that might be a decent pairing. I've always wanted to try to make something that's still like listenable and enjoyable for people, especially considering what we're going to be discussing along the way. This I feel like has a couple moments that are just like bass and beat combos that all of a sudden I'll just kind of like put on while I'm driving around on my forklift and just find myself listening to for an extended period of time. And yeah, I'm excited to put some of these out. So shooting for trying to wrap it up through the next month so I can put it out on like election day, like November 8th would be great. So we'll see if I can nail that or not.
Right on.
Because a lot
I'll
of these
keep
are
my pick.
still just kind of, up in the air, conceptual phase. But
Well, you're a very talented person, and I'm very jealous of your talent. What's up, Reef? Good to see you. I don't know if this is directed to you or not. Colin had a comment in the chat. It says, Jesse, I have to know. Well, I guess it is to you since he said Jesse. There goes those reading skills. I have to know who were the people that recognized your talent.
I mean, my parents definitely, when I was growing up, when I showed an interest in music, they were super supportive of it. When I started playing guitar at about 8 and writing songs, 8 and 9, I started, cranking songs out all the time. And when I was about 14, I started going and playing whatever place would have me. There were a couple like bar and grill, bowling alley kind of combos that I managed to convince to let me play, and a few straight up bars that I had to go through the process of like getting notarized paperwork that I was there to perform. I had to be covered in hand stamps and bracelets and shit, and got to play a few gigs there. Started doing that around 14 or so, and my parents were super supportive, would schlep me to gigs, and yeah, that was really the beginning of it. I wrote and did covers for a long time, and then it wasn't until the beginning of the pandemic when I started doing this music that I decided to actually package anything and like put out an honest to God album and distribute it anywhere. So really recently, Ron Placone was one of the first people that let me come on, especially early. Like he and Misty had me on for a couple shows when I was very new to Twitter, and were really huge in getting me exposure at a time when I was just a few songs in and trying to, get people to hear it who were equally angry. And yeah,
I
that
think
brings us up to now.
Well, I mean, using your talents and trying to parlay that into informing the masses, is that's very generous of you to do that, because not a lot of people are generous with their time like that. A lot of people, particularly in this day and age, are just they want to get that money, they want to get that record contract, they want to get famous, they want to tour, they want, the big house and stuff like that. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having some material wants,
For sure. Dude, what we do to like celebrities and, even the life of a touring musician, I don't have the mental wherewithal for that. I even just like when I lived in the Keys, I didn't work a job. I just played music for a living, but it would be like I would have a brunch time kind of gig, like a 10 to 1 deal. Then I would do a 6 to 9 somewhere, and then I would
Yeah.
go do and
Sorry,
then I would
third grade showed
immediately
up and said 6 to 9. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
pack
Please
up
continue.
there and hurry over, and I did a 10:30 to 1:30 at JJ's Doghouse. And
Wow.
so that was where I first learned, like, how much singing can I do in a day? And the answer is about 7 hours worth before I start sounding like Tom Waits. So sometimes
Oh.
those last couple sets was like, you know what? It's going to be 1930s blues night at the Doghouse. But
Cynic says,
and that was fun. But at the same time, man, when you're just trying to milk a living out of gigs, you can play at a place for a year and then they get a new manager and he decides all new music or no more music. And it was the first place that gave me my check along with a little note in an envelope that was like, tonight was your last gig. It was so nice having you for the last 13 months. And like, there is no job security doing that. It's very,
oh, wow.
very tenuous at best. So, especially when I met someone that I wanted to have a child with, like, I don't want to be trying to rely on music for a living. And the few times that I've done like regional tour was enough to know that I wouldn't want to be doing the like different city every night kind of thing. I totally absolutely get why people wind up on a stage being like, hey, thank you, Tampa. And they're like, we're Austin, you prick. You know, like that makes perfect sense. I did like 4 towns in 5 nights or something with this band. And it was the third night. I was like, what's the name of this place that we're going to? I swear, like, I just read it earlier and it's gone. Like, it is disorienting. All of a sudden you just go somewhere, you play a gig, then you go to a hotel, then you drive somewhere, you play a gig, you're in a different hotel. Like, I get why people just like burn out doing that. It's
yeah. Well, I mean, the road is it can be
the road.
The road. I think the mentality of the road changes though over the years, you know, because way back, I think people appreciated it more because, you know, there was no like booking stuff online, you know, you didn't have all that stuff. You had to like, you had to call your agent had to make calls here and they had to do this for you. And you know, I got you this and stuff like that, you know, and I mean, I've never toured as a comedian, you know, I've only done like stuff in LA and New Orleans, a little bit here in New York, but not like going across the country like that. I couldn't imagine doing that. But you know, I did mention to you earlier that I wanted to get I'm at a point in my life where I just want to get like an RV van bus and just let that be my my house, you know, and just you know, when trouble hits, you just get in the thing and just take off and you know. But I always loved like road trips and stuff like that. So you know, it's let me ask you this though. When you do shows at these places, how do people respond? Like, do you have a separate set that you do for the quote unquote normies, or do you do your political stuff, and how do they take it?
Well, that's the funny thing is I haven't really done live shows hardly since I started doing this material in the last couple years. The few places that that I regularly played at, or that my wife and I regularly played at as a duo, didn't renew their music licenses because they didn't know when they'd have music back. And we're just finally starting to get back into that swing of things. But suddenly I'm working a ton more. My wife works at the hospital, and so God knows she's as busy as they'll, you know, have her every fucking night. When she's off, she gets called and they're trying to lure her in. So now it's so different too, trying to book shows, because people are like, well, what's your internet following like? They want to know what your Instagram is. They immediately ask for those kind of things. I'm like, I never, I at best I could be like, here's, you know, a CD demo back in the day. Usually it would just be like, I would play a few open mics somewhere, get a gig there, then someone heard me at that gig, and I'd get a gig from someone else that heard me, and just kind of go word of mouth. I never liked having to like dress myself up and package it to like make it marketable, and especially with this music, it's not like what I do now is very saleable. I've only had a handful of occasions where I've played my new like political stuff for people that didn't know what they were expecting, and I've been really surprised at how positive the response was, that people are a lot more fed up than I gave them credit for. But the few times when I used to play regular gigs solo, I had a few political songs that I snuck in once in a while back then that were nothing like what I do now, but lyrically it was, you know, closer. And you'd always get someone that bristled up at that and felt it necessary to come tell you why it's not a good idea to play political stuff for a crowd. And it irked me a little then, and it fucking enrages me now.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, you know, when you talk about the political stuff, political material in music, you kind of have the same thing in comedy too, where it's like, especially these days, you could talk about politics all the time in comedy. In fact, you know, there's several, you know, legendary comedians that was their bread and butter, was talking about politics. But now, you know, with this cancel culture and every little thing that you say is scrutinized, you know, to the infinite power. And it's just like a lot of comedians, and I don't know about musicians, but a lot of comedians stopped doing college campuses because it was just like, you know, the quote unquote wokeness. Now, I'm not talking about being awake as like awake to the knowledge of what's really going on in the world. I'm talking about this, you know, this wokeness that's used as an excuse to, you know, to deflect from the real problems when you're going down these little roads where it's these little dead end roads of just like petty wokeness and, you know, just to make yourself sound important. And, you know, it's like nobody has time for that, you know, so it's kind of scary. I'm wanting to get back into the ring with stand up. I want to do some open mics, but but that's the thing. It's like the political material, you can get away with it more in song because, you know, with your talent, but with my talent, not so much. I would probably get the big wooden hook would come out as in olden times, and then the curtain closes, and then, you know, people pelt you with like lettuce and tomatoes. I guess they want you to make a salad or something. Les Bones, what's up, brother? But anyway, enough with all this. Nobody came here to hear us talking about this jibber jabber. They came to hear you sing. So, and anyway, I'm trying to I have permission. Yeah, he was having some kitty problems earlier, so they were all fighting to see who could get on the show. And I said, well, if you're gonna fight, then none of you get to get on the show. So, yeah, you made it in time, Les Bones. So good timing there. You did miss the Casey Kasem though, unfortunately. That was pretty fun. So on the replay, it's pretty close to the top of the show. Check it out on the replay if you don't mind. So anyway, I have gotten permission from Jesse to tell everybody in chat that he is taking requests now. There's an asterisk. Okay, so first let's keep it. You know, don't be asking some like crazy wild shit that like, you know, from the 1600s or something like that. You know, I don't think he has like you don't have a lute, do you? You don't have you have a guitar.
Well, I have a dulcimer right over here. So
okay. So anyway, so if you have some requests, we'll stick them in the chat. If you can get to them, that's great. We'll try to do the best we can. He's just one man, people. You know, so just take it easy on him. But so like I said, Jesse's taking over the show. We had our little funsies there off the top. We'll probably have some more funsies here shortly. So Jesse, you have some material for us this evening. What Colin said he wants to hear some Sade. Sweetest Taboo, or does he want the Smooth Operator? I don't know. I like Sweetest Taboo better. So,
I'm trying to remember.
That's just me. Ed Heller wants to know, what is the best chord?
Oh, the best chord. I mean, in my opinion, if I pick up a guitar and just rest on something, it's always an E, and any variations in and off of that. That's always just what makes me feel like a resting, like, home chord. Yeah.
E for E Heller. So a good question, Ed, and you get some good karma points for asking good questions. So good job.
Amish love song. It's Mormon Courtship is what you're thinking about.
I don't know. Now I want to hear Amish love song.
I haven't played this in so long. All right, let's see. This my wife and I wrote this song together when we were dating, because I met her at a time when, like, she was just getting out of a really shitty relationship and she was not ready for someone new to come along. And then I came along and was like, right away, like, you're the person I'm supposed to marry. I'm absolutely going to marry you. And she was like, hold the phone. What's your last name? And so there was a lot of wheeling and dealing and poems I had to write and shit to win her over. But we did a lot of red light, green light in the beginning. And we ended up writing the song because I joked one day about her having, like, courtship rules in place, like we were Mormons or something. And then we were like, Mormon Courtship would be a great name for a song. And
nice.
this song was born. Oh, I gotta say hey to Charlie fucking Mac.
Oh yeah, we're getting some stragglers in. That's nice. So some of the shows I think are starting to let out on the other channels. So if you have, I always like to shout out the Political Matrix and Beauty and the Boomer. They're good, great Saturday night shows. So we try to complement it by being the after party. So Jesse, I'm gonna let you take it away, brother.
All right, let's see if I can remember all the lyrics on this one. This is Mormon Courtship. Mormon Courtship. We can watch TV together, but not in the same house. We can watch TV together, but not on the same couch. And in 6 months, you can take your sweater off and I can see your blouse. Girl, look at that blouse. Oh, it's a beautiful blouse with some round cap sleeves that your grandma gave you last Christmas Eve. She made them from your granddad's jeans. Your dead granddad's jeans. Just Mormon courtship. We can have dinner together, but not in the same. Fuck.
Is that the lyrics?
Mormon courtship. We can go see a band, but we can't see the same band. We can go share some soup, but not from the same can. And in 1 year, I'll get to hold your sweet hand. I'll get to hold your hand. I'm gonna write you a letter saying how much I care. And once your mom reads it, and your dad reads it, and his brother, and his second cousin, and the barber, and the village elder, well, baby, someone's gonna give it to you. You can finally read it too. It's just Mormon courtship. It's just Mormon courtship. Girl, look at that blouse. That's Mormon courtship.
That's great. I love that.
No joke. I played that song once at a place called Porky's, and a guy came up to me afterwards, dead serious. This guy says, "Listen, we have a lot of Mormons that come here, and they're really good people, and they wouldn't appreciate that." And then he walked away, and I was like, "God damn, just twist the knife. Why don't you?"
I can't win. I can't win. You know,
That's such an innocent song. Like, I didn't touch on an awful lot of stuff, man. If I wanted to now, if I wrote a song about the Mormons, like be dissecting Mormon culture.
I know, right? Be like a scene out of the Blues Brothers. They just be like all these Mormons chasing you in the car, and you're like, "Hey, why won't this car go faster? I don't understand." And Mormons with pitchforks and torches, but no soda, no coffee.
Mormon torches. That's the sequel song.
Yeah, they wouldn't. They won't touch caffeine, so they won't be throwing Coke cans at you or anything like that. So, or coffee cups, or at least I hope not. I mean, that'd be kind of weird if they did, but you know. Well, let me ask you this too. This kind of came off the top of my head. Have you ever, like, I know like fucking around and stuff you probably have, but have you ever decided like one night just have one song that you just like totally make up the lyrics, like you just like start playing something, you just like totally just making up lyrics just for fun, like you just said fuck it?
I have like parties and stuff. It was always fun to just start singing about what someone was doing and then not stop and then have people like losing their shit. I wish I was a better like freestyle person. Like if you give me a couple minutes, I can write you something, but just like on the fly, I'm like always a millisecond behind. But I've not just like bullshit my way through something before, but honestly, when I'm kind of in the zone writing something, it's close to what it feels like is it's like sometimes if I'm not just constantly typing the next line, then I feel like I'm not ready to write and I just won't. If it's not coming faster than I can get it out onto my phone, then I feel like maybe I should just wait and come back to it later. Because when it's happening and when I'm like in writing mode, it's a ludicrous amount to try to keep up with. And my short-term memory ain't what it used to be. So I have to get it down quickly, or I'm like repeating it to myself like a crazy person until I can write it down or type it. Mostly at work. But
yeah, I often go back to comparing music to comedy in that respect. So it's like in comedy you can kind of get away with that, especially like if you're dealing with hecklers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always thought maybe it would be cool that like if you had kind of like in your arsenal, I guess in your quiver, if someone's heckling you while you're playing music, you just automatically go into another song that's like, "Go fuck yourself, your mom's a whore, I'll see you in hell," you know, something like that, you know, then like whoa, but I guess that wouldn't really do well with.
I had a few when I was playing at JJ's Doghouse one night, a lady who kind of looked like Rosie O'Donnell tried to punch the bartender. And then people tried to like take her out of the bar because she was like swinging on everyone. And she did the protester thing where you just become dead weight. And they drug her out the door and locked the door. And then she proceeded to jump on different cars in the parking lot and like stomp on them and pound on the roof. It was pretty impressive. So I ended up writing a song called "Crazy Broad at the Doghouse." And playing it that night, and then most times that I played at the Doghouse, some variation of that song. But yeah,
right on.
So there have been a few moments.
I was always curious. I've never experienced that myself. I mean, I've seen a lot of live bands in bars and stuff like that, and I've never experienced just someone just like a band just going rogue or a singer just going rogue and just like off script and just making up shit and hammering on somebody. So
yeah.
I guess if I was a musician, I'd probably do that. But then again, I'm not a very good musician anyway, you know, so it's kind of a moot point. Okay. Sounds good. How you feeling? You feeling okay? You feeling like you're getting back in the swing there, you know, on the crazy show? Yeah.
I'm in the swing. I'm swinging.
I did miss you, brother. I really did. I miss doing these shows with you too. So We're gonna make this
'Cause
a regular thing. I promise.
Where else can I play Marty Robbins, for example?
Exactly. Oh, nice segue.
Well.
Let's hear it.
Fucking love Marty Robbins so much. I mean, not the man's whole discography. Admittedly, I'm a Western gunslinger era kind of Marty Robbins.
Nice.
But yeah, I always loved this song. There were a few lines that just like fuck. Yeah, this is called Mr. Shorty.
Nobody knew where he came from. They only knew he came in. Slowly he walked to the end of the bar and ordered up one slug of gin. I could see that he wasn't a large man. I could tell that he wasn't too tall. I judged him to be just about 5'3", and his voice was a soft Texas drawl. He said he was needing some wages before he could ride for the West. Said he could do most all kind of work and said he could ride with the best. But there in his blue eyes was sadness that comes from the need of a friend. And though he tried, he still couldn't hide the loneliness there deep within. He said he would work through the winter for 30 a month, and his boy started to say where he might land a job when a fella came in through the door. I could tell he was looking for trouble from the way that he came stomping in. He told me to leave Shorty there by himself, come down and wait on a man. Well, the eyes of the little man narrowed and the smile disappeared from his face. Gone was the friendliness there I had seen, and a wild look of hate took its place. But the big one continued to mock him, and he told me that I'd better go. Find him a couple of glasses of milk, then maybe Shorty would grow. When the little man spoke, there was stillness. He made sure that everyone heard. Slowly he stepped back away from the bar, and I still remember these words. Oh, it's plain that you're looking for trouble. Trouble's what I try to shun. If that's what you want, then that's what you'll get, because cowboy, we're both packing guns. Oh, his hand was already positioned and his feet wide apart on the floor. I hadn't noticed, but there on his hip was a short-barreled Bat 44. It was plain he was ready and waiting. Then he leaned a bit forward and said, when you call me Shorty, say Mister, my friend. Maybe you'd rather be dead. In the room was a terrible silence as the big one stepped out on the floor. All drinking stopped and the tick of the clock said that death would wait 10 seconds more. Oh, he cursed once or twice in a whisper, and he said with a snarl on his lips, Nobody's mister to me, little man. And he grabbed for the gun on his hip. But the little man's hand was like lightning, and the Bat 44 was the same. The 44 spoke, and it sent Latin smoke and 17 inches of flame. For the big one had never cleared leather, was beaten before he could start. A little round hole had appeared on his shirt. The bullet went clear through his heart. And the little man stood there a moment. Then he holstered the Bat 44. It's always this way, and so I never stay. And slowly he walked out the door. Nobody knew where he came from. They won't forget he came by. And they won't forget how a 44 gun one night made the difference in size. As for me, I'll remember the sadness that was shown in the eyes of the man. If we meet someday, you can bet I would say that it's me, Mr. Shorty, your friend.
Wow. You know, I always loved songs like that from way back that actually, tell a story. You know, it's just like, I obviously that's the way it's been done for spoken word, which you do as well. You kind of bringing that full circle from.
Yeah, so yeah, Marty Robbins. My God, some of his songs is like 12 verses or something, but it's the storytelling is like fantastic.
Yeah, it's just amazing. It's like one of the best stories. When I was a kid growing up is when the Charlie Daniels band did, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, because that's like a great little story. Yeah. I think they actually made a movie out of that or something, but nobody watched it. I don't think so, but it's a thought that counts.
Marty Robbins, everyone knows El Paso.
Yes.
But he also has a song called Felina, the girl from El Paso. And it's the same story from the perspective of the girl in that relationship, whereas El Paso is the story of this girl that works at this, cantina. She dances there. She meets this guy. He gets in a gunfight with some other dude, flees, and then he can't stay away, and he comes back even though he knows the law's after him, and he dies in a hail of gunfire. In the other song that's from her perspective, it first of all, it's a really brilliant example of him doing kind of a sister song for this piece that parallels the events. So you obviously know what's going to happen, but there's a really great moment that he splits them off from one another. And I feel like it's got to be intentional, because in the Felina version, her song, he mentions that he leaves, and then he comes back the next afternoon, next evening or something. Leaves town, comes right back. In his version, it's it doesn't specify how long he's gone, but it just he leaves town, and then being away from her is unbearable, and he feels like he's gonna die if he doesn't see her, and he'd rather just go and die. And then you find out in the other song that that's literally the span of 7 hours or something. You feel like it's several days that he leaves, but when you listen to the other song from the right perspective, you realize he was 8 hours or something that he was gone, and he's like, fuck it, I'm going back to die. And just a really great little divergence there that shows that this was just someone out of their mind, just fuck it, not gonna wait. But you have the impression that it's a considerable length of time or something. But Marty Robbins had a few different songs where he would do these little little secrets in his lyrics that if you take the time and read, like what seemed like a really simple song has some extraordinarily deep stuff to it. Yeah, one of my favorite songwriters ever, like hands down.
I tell you, another song. There's two songs that I will always remember the story to. One of them is Copacabana, right? With I had to explain to a younger person the other day, first off, who Barry Manilow was, what Copacabana, and I told the story. It's like, oh, what's this? I've heard that song before, but I don't know the story. It's like, oh, you don't know the story? It's a classic, love and tragedy and love lost, and it's a great song. And the other one is Tom Jones' Delilah. That's a dark song. Okay, so basically,
I think I know that one.
Why, my Delilah, my Delilah. Anyway,
I don't know that. No.
So it's a great song, and the gist of the song is basically Delilah was cheating on him with this dude, and then Tom Jones comes over to her house and stabs the bitch. What? It ain't like my heart's broken. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get my murder on. I'm like, Jesus, man, Tom, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I wouldn't have expected it out of Tom Jones.
No, right? Everybody just thinks, oh, it's just a fun little, oh, my Delilah. It's like, nah, that motherfucker's murdering people. It's like, Jesus, man, kind of tamp down the road rage a little bit, son,
Right?
Maybe, go to a bar, pick up somebody else, go get a hooker, try, tide yourself over to the next one. But, you gotta go over there and fucking murder somebody. So, but it's a great story. It's like, that's how the old songs used to be. You told stories, like Hotel California. You go, they go to this hotel in the, in the middle of the desert in California, and they check in. It turns out it's hell. They ain't getting out of there. But and that was like at the time too, people thought that the Eagles were like what was it, like Black Sabbath and stuff like that. They're all, oh, if you listen to these words or you do this backwards, it's devil worship. It's like, how you gonna get devil worship out of the Eagles? But anyway.
Oh, what was the band? I was reading about this band the other day, and now I forgot about them. What the fuck was their name? Shit. They were a like occult black magic themed kind of band from the 60s that preceded Black Sabbath by a few years, but they had a song called Black Sabbath, and their bassist's name is Oz Osbourne. And
really?
I ended up reading this article about them, and they would do these like big elaborate kind of performance arty, like human sacrifice kind of rituals during their gigs and stuff, where they pretended to sacrifice their singer every show and stuff.
Nice.
I'll have to look up the name because I can't remember, but it was a very interesting article because there's not any definitive proof that the guys from Black Sabbath knew this band, but it's a pretty interesting stack of coincidences. So
was it Coven?
Yes, it was Coven. Thank you. Goddamn, look at you.
Okay, no, don't get it twisted. I didn't just like pull that out of my ass. I googled it. Sorry, but I had to know. It was gonna. I just did. I just put Oz Osbourne in there, and it just came up as Coven.
Coven.
I don't know if it's Coven or Coven.
Well, it'd be Coven. That's a witches group.
True.
Of witches. Coven.
But there's an independent film that was made in like the late 80s, early 90s about these guys. It was like in a really rural area, and they were making a movie, like an independent movie it's called Coven, but he pronounced it Coven. They're like, isn't it called Coven? No, it's Coven. But the name of the movie is called American Movie. So if you ever get a chance, look up American Movie. It might be on YouTube. It's that old, and it wasn't that. I think it was one of those straight to video kind of things. But it's a really great. It's just this documentary about these guys, and they look like they're like in West Virginia or something like that, or somewhere in the backwoods, and they're making movies, right? You know, kind of doing it guerrilla style, and but it's great. So anyway, and now back to the countdown. God damn it! Where are those pictures? Is Don on the phone? Wait a minute, let me find out. Is Don on the phone? Hello, Don. Anyway, so what you got next for us, brother? Zippy, as I catch you in mid-sip.
I'm gonna do a Frank Ocean song. I really, really, really love Frank Ocean, and it wasn't until maybe 2019 that I really started listening to him. I had written a song that was several minutes long and went through a few different like changes and stuff. And a friend of mine listened to it, and she looked at the running time. She's like, "Fuck, who are you, Frank Ocean, with your like 7-minute song?" And I was like, "Oh, does he do that a lot?" She's like, "You don't listen to Frank Ocean?" I was like, "Should I?" Yeah, we absolutely should. And it is incredible. It's really, really, really astounding. And there are several songs. I could probably do a whole night on American Tradition where I just played Frank Ocean songs that I love. But this is a short and condensed version of one. This is called Self Control.
I'll be the boyfriend in your wet dreams tonight. Her nose is on a veil, little virgin wears the white. You cut your hair, but you used to live a blondie life. Wish I was there, wish we'd grown up on the same advice. That time was right. Keep a place for me, for me. I sleep between y'all, it's nothing. It's nothing, it's nothing. Keep a place for me, for me. Now and then you miss it, sounds make you cry. Some nights you dance with tears in your eyes. I came to visit 'cause you see me like a UFO. That's like never. 'Cause I made you use your self-control. Yeah, you made me lose my self-control. My self-control. Keep a place for me, for me. Oh, I sleep between y'all, it's nothing. It's nothing, it's nothing.
Ooh, very good.
Ooh.
I've never heard Frank Ocean either. So now you may have piqued my interest into looking, and I'm always looking into new music to listen to. In the last few years, well, the last couple decades, I guess, I really kind of fell off with trying to find new music. Every once in a while, I would find a hidden gem here and there. A friend of mine turned me on to Fitz and the Tantrums. I don't know if you've ever heard Fitz. I love Fitz. We've seen it. Yeah. Saw him twice here in New York, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And we buddy saw them twice. And then I introduced him to this band called No Small Children. 3 teachers out of Southern California,
Okay.
Middle-aged ladies, but it's just like, it reminds me of like kind of late 80s rock, right? It's and the way we found out about this band is we were watching a TV show. I can't remember the show it was on. I think it may have been like Santa Clarita Diet or some random show like that. And in the end credits, they were playing. So of course, I got to get the phone, put the Shazam on there, see what the song is. I was like, who are these people? Looked them up. They have like all kinds of really good songs too. They came to New York. We saw them at the Bowery Electric over in Midtown, nice. Over there in Soho, and it was just amazing show. If you've ever been to New York, and if you go see a show at the Bowery Electric, so they have like a huge, well, not huge, but they have a pretty decent size area upstairs for musicians and comedians and stuff. But the basement is like very quaint, it's like very. So there was probably like maybe 20, 30 people in there at the most. They had a little bar and stuff and some merch and stuff for the band. And it was great. It felt like a private show because we were like right there, dead in front, and they're playing, and just the band just kicks ass. I can never pimp them enough. The band's called, I'll put it in the chat here. It's called No Small Children. And so if you ever get a chance to listen to them, they have a YouTube channel, so you could just like look on there and find that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
I'm always like love to share the love when it comes to that kind of stuff, because I introduce people to your music too, you and Crab, and because I
awesome indie playlist. I've found a few like indie bands I'd never heard of, like political bands and just really awesome artists that I wasn't familiar with yet through your channel. So
we got, thank you. We got Yona in the chat too, and Yona does his own music too. We're gonna try to get. He was supposed to give me some music today, Stoner, you ass, but we'll get it on next time for him. So I say you're an ass with love, Yona. So don't take that to. He's stoned. He don't give a fuck. he's probably not even here. He's probably like halfway down the road or something. So, like I said, you're taking over the show. What do you got next for us, brother?
Well, I've done a couple songs from people that were huge inspirations, Marty Robbins and Frank Ocean, who are so similar. And I actually used to, when I played gigs regularly, sneak this song in. This is a song by my probably my favorite solo artist and easily favorite living lyricist, who is a rapper named Aesop Rock, who I was lucky enough to finally see in Grand Rapids a few years ago, and he was just put on a stellar show. And there are some people that I'll listen to their stuff and they write a good line, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I'd written that line. I wish I'd come up with that line. His stuff, it's something that I'm like shaking my head like, oh man, that's just beyond my comprehension. This song was a really good example of him doing a really great story. When he can do this kind of stream of consciousness, just wordplay all day. But this song was such a great message, and I used to sneak this in, especially when I had crowds that I think wouldn't want to listen to rap, would play this for them, and had so many people come up and say, I really enjoyed that song you played, and ask who did it. So I tried my best to turn people on to Aesop through this song. This is called No Regrets.
All right, Lucy was 7 and wore a head of blue barrettes. City born into this world, no knowledge and no regrets. She had a piece of yellow chalk with which she drew upon the street the faces of the various locals that she would meet. There was Joshua, age 10, bully up the block who always took her milk money at the morning bus stop. There was Mrs. Crabtree and her poodle, always gave a wave and holler on her weekly trip down to the bingo parlor. Now she drew men, women, kids, sunsets, clouds. She drew skyscrapers, fruit stands, cities, towns. She said hello to passerby who asked her why she passed the time attaching line to concrete, but she would only smile. Now all the other children living in and near her building ran around like tyrants, soaking up the open fire hydrants. They'd say, little Lucy, wanna come jump double dutch? She'd pause, look, grin, and say, I'm busy, thank you much. Well, 1 year passed, and believe it or not, she'd covered every last inch of the entire sidewalk. She stopped, they said, Lucy, you're just giving in today? She said, I'm not giving in, I'm finished, and walked away. Now 1, 2, 3, that's the speed of the seed. A, B, C, that's the speed of the need. You can dream a little dream, or you can live a little dream. I'd rather live it. Dreamers always chase, but never get it. 1, 2, 3, that's the speed of the seed. A, B, C, that's the speed of the need. You can dream a little dream, or you can live a little dream. I'd rather live it. Dreamers always chase, but never get it. Now Lucy was 37, introverted somewhat. Basement apartment in the building she grew up in. Traded in her blue barrettes for long locks, held up with a clip and traded in the yellow chalk for charcoal sticks. She drew little Bobby, who would come to sweep the porch. She drew the mailman, delivered every day at 4. She had very little contact with folks outside her cubicle day, found it suitable and she liked it that way. She had a man now, Rico, similar, hermit. They'd only see each other once or twice a week on purpose. They appreciated space, and Rico was an artist too. Connect on Saturdays and share the pictures that they drew. But every month or so, she'd get a knock upon the front door. Just one of the neighbors, acting nice but thought she was a strange girl. She'd say, Luce, you want to join me for some lunch? She'd grin and say, I'm busy, thank you much. Well, the neighbor made a weird face second the door shut. Would run and tell the friends how truly crazy Lucy was, and Lucy knew what people thought but didn't care, cause while they spread their rumor through the street, she'd paint another masterpiece. So 1, 2, 3, that's the speed of the seed. A, B, C, that's the speed of the need. You can dream a little dream, or you can live a little dream. I'd rather live it. Dreamers always chase but never get it. 1, 2, 3, that's the speed of the seed. A, B, C, that's the speed of the need. You can dream a little dream, or you can live a little dream. I'd rather live it. Dreamers always chase but never get it. Now Lucy was 87, on her deathbed, at the senior home that she had previously checked in. She traded in her locks and clips for a headrest, traded in the charcoal sticks for arthritis. It had to happen. Now she drew no more. She just sat and watched the dawn, had a television in the room that she barely turned on. She pinned up a life's worth of pictures on the wall, sat back to look each one over just to laugh at it all. Now Rico, he had passed about 5 years back, so visiting hour brought in a big flock of nothing. She never spoke much throughout the spanning of her life until the day she leaned forward, grinned, pulled the nurse aside, and she said, look, I've never had a dream in my life. Because a dream is what you want to do, but just haven't pursued. I knew what I wanted and did it till it was done. So I've been a dream I've had it to be since day one. No. Well, the nurse jumped back. She'd never heard Lucy even talk, especially words like that. She walked over to the door, pulled it closed behind, and Lucy blew a kiss to each one of her pictures, and she died. 1, 2, 3, that's the speed of the seed. A, B, C, that's the speed of the need. You dream a little dream, or you can live a little dream. I'd rather live it. Dreamers always chase but never get it. A, B, C. A, B, C. A, B, C. She said, I'm not giving in, I'm finished, and walked away.
Nice. Beautimus.
Thank you. I wish I'd written that. That's one of those like, God damn, that's
yeah, Cynic said this could easily be a Jesse Jett song. So yeah, steal it. Why not? You know, make it yours.
What
you know?
What album is that on?
Who'd you say that was by?
Labor Days? Aesop Rock, that's on Labor Days.
Okay. Right on. Do not know what album, but it's a good tune. Let me ask you, kind of, I don't know, I guess switching gears a little bit, but kind of not, but okay, have you ever heard of the group, Hayseed Dixie? They do, bluegrass covers of songs, right? I mean, they have originals, but they do bluegrass covers too. And one of their most famous covers is Gin and Juice. Have you ever heard that version?
Yeah, I absolutely have. Yeah. Some guys I work with listen to an awful lot of bluegrass, and I was about to say there's a few bluegrass cover bands they listen to quite a lot. And I've definitely heard that version.
The first time I ever heard that, I was at a house party in North Mississippi. This was mid '90s, and that was kind of like our crew. You know, we a lot of pot smokers, drinkers, but then there was always the one guy with the guitar would show up, and he would play the Gin and Juice, and he started playing it. And I said, "Oh man, this is a pretty good song. I'd never heard this before." And then he got to the chorus, sipping on gin and juice. I'm like, wait, what? What is it? This is gin and juice? 'Cause, I mean, I never really listened to like Snoop Dogg or anything like it. So I know gin and juice, but I don't know, like, I guess some of his other songs.
All of a sudden, like, oh,
right.
shit.
But it just totally caught me off guard. I was like, wait, this is, awesome. But he was just like strumming it. But the way they do it, Hayseed Dixie, that's another one. I'm trying to put all these bands out here that I've heard that probably no one else has ever heard of, to try and, like, share the secret gems. Cynic has a request. She wants to know if you could play Toast to Dissolve.
Ooh. Yes.
Is that an original, or who is that by?
That is, I actually might need to rain check you for that and do it next episode of my show, because that's something I'll need to brush up on the lyrics. I haven't done that song in such a long time, like a year and a half. There's no way I wouldn't butcher that right now.
Or you could just make up lyrics.
But next episode, I promise you, I will write first song.
I swear to God, I would use my if I had the musical skills like you have, I would use my powers for evil, and I would just I'd let people think that I was playing a certain song and then just start making up words, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" I'm like,
I have gotten like a little ways into a song and then jumped right into "Never Gonna Give You Up" and just played that out instead.
You rickrolled it. That's great.
Especially if people ask for Freebird, I would play like the first half of the first verse of Freebird, and then all of a sudden just "We're no strangers to love" and just do a whole bunch of that.
I think those are the original lyrics, and then they, for copyright reasons, they had to change them. Jimmy wants to know if you can do Africa from Weezer.
Oh shit! I need to. If I was going to do Africa, I would need to like actually record a cover so I could use all my non-traditional instruments, like do all my little solos.
That is like the most badass instrument ever. So Fred Edward, hey, what's up, Fred? Good to see you, brother. He says now do 88 lines about 44 women. I don't know if that's code. Hey, Kate, good to see you. She's over there on the Rockfin too. Way over yonder in a minor key. I don't know. I think these are just these are codes for some sort of criminal endeavor, and we shouldn't be a part of it. So, wait, what? I don't know. I got nothing. I don't know. Like,
oh, there we go. I can at least do that. It's here's your consolation prize since I can't do Toast to Dissolve.
know you're not there. Give you my love, but you don't care. So what is right? What is wrong? Give me a sign. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
That's
I have
beautiful.
a recorded cover, a recorded version of that cover, and at the very end, my my old cat, God rest her soul, goes, "Meow," and I totally kept it.
And then the cat broke up with the band and went solo.
Mhm.
You know, he didn't get paid in money, gets paid in Meow Mix. Mm. All right, so I have a question for you.
She was ice cream obsessed. I've never met a cat that had such a like. She'd hear you open the freezer and she'd come running in and just start like, you know, rooting around, seeing if you had ice cream. And yeah, sorry. You had a question.
She likes ice cream. I mean, like a lot of the cats will get the brain freeze though, and they'll make that.
Yeah, she did.
Face.
There were some foods. She was one of those cats that would smell something and she'd give it a sniff and then go.
Yeah. I love those cats that do that. You like smell a toothbrush or something.
I'm about to eat this. Like seriously.
Oh, Jesus! How can you eat this? But yeah, like the cat. I've seen the videos on YouTube of this cat. They're just like, oh, I love this, and all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh. You just make that face. You're like, dude, you okay? Yep. You right, buddy? Yep. You would need to need some medical attention. No, I'm all right. And then they go back to licking it because you know they're glutton for punishment. Now let me ask you this: what is, if you can recollect, what is the weirdest song you ever covered? Like just totally is not something you would think of as coverable, but yet you did it. I guess like what is love, the way you did it is kind of cool.
Yeah,
but that's
like unironically at a gig once, I oh, what's the name of the song? It's a Christina Aguilera song. This ballad, I'm sorry for blaming you for everything I just couldn't do. I did that song. Someone jokingly was like, play some Christina Aguilera, you pussy, or whatever, because I had just gone like after a full band and before another full band, and then here was me acoustic. And I love to take a heckler request and play it like seriously. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking okay. You know what? You want Christina Aguilera? I was like, I'm pretty sure that's just like E minor, C and G and D, and I just fucking did it. And then what else? I did kind of a Richard Cheese version of Sugar by System of a Down.
I love Richard Cheese. Oh my god.
I know, oh man.
So good. So for the unwashed, Richard Cheese does he does covers, but in the style of like a lounge singer. So he did Down with the Sickness too, and it's just like, you motherfuckers get up and get down with the sickness. Open up your hate and let it flow into me.
Oh, man, I
can listen to him all day long.
His version of Chop Suey by System of a Down. Wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. It's so perfect. Phenomenal.
Oh, he did fuck you like an animal too. Like he goes, I want to fuck you like an animal. Hey Denver, good to see you on Rockfin. Denver says, do you know the song After You've Gone, a 1918 popular song composed by Turner Layton with lyrics by Henry Creamer?
I can't say that I do, but I will next time. I
don't know. You talk about, you go from cheese to cream right there. You got the Creamer guy. That's, you know, I hope no one's
play a corn cover and we got ourselves a chowder. Am I right?
I was about to say, I hope nobody's lactose intolerant. Sorry, folks, we don't have insurance. You're on your own. So, yeah, I don't know. I always liked hanging out with musicians when I was in North Mississippi, and I was around some pretty stellar talent too. None of them ever got famous. You know, they would always be like, you know, Columbus, Mississippi bar bands and, you know, house bands. You go to house parties and they'd play that kind of thing too, you know, but it's just so talented. And you're like, I wanted them to be successful, but at the same time, it was like, if they got really successful, then they forget about us and, you know, that magic would be gone. So in a selfish way, I was like, well, I hope they never get famous. You know, right. I want to keep them to myself, you know, us people who really enjoyed that kind of thing. So,
yeah.
But I think, I don't know. What else do you got? I am at a loss for words. I'm so wrapped up in the music that you're doing tonight. It's just amazing. I know everybody in the chat's really enjoying it too. So everybody on YouTube and Rockfin, if you're watching this on Facebook and Twitter, Twitch, I hope you're all enjoying it. So Cynic says, you know the song Jesse, you just don't play it, but if you did listen to After You've Gone, go listen to Fiona Apple singing it at a book signing.
Yeah. Huh.
Fiona Apple.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. So do you know this song After You've Gone?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I only know one Fiona Apple song, and it's like probably her biggest hit. That one. It's the video where she looks like she's in a
criminal.
Yeah, she looks like she's in a hostage video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that clothing line? I can't remember the clothing line. It was for young people, and like you see like the ads, the still ads for them, and it always looked like a hostage, some teen that was like, you know, taken hostage or something. And I think they went out of business too. I was like, well, I guess you can't really sell clothes to hostages because, you know, anyway, but I digress. So what's next on the agenda here, brother?
All right, let's see. Here's a little classic ditty everybody knows.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a blue one, a pink one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the universities where they were put in boxes. They came out all the same. And they're doctors and they're lawyers and business executives. They're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same.
Very good. Very good. Gamer nailed it here. It's also the Weeds theme song. I don't know if everybody, not a lot of people remember that show I think it was on Showtime or something. I loved it. I was a big fan of that, and I love that little boxes on the hillside. It was like, it sounded like some like grandma from like the Smoky Mountains or something that was singing it. You know, she'd have one of those what do they call those things? It's a harp, but it's like a flat harp. You know what I mean? It's like, and you play it like this, you know?
Oh yeah.
Auto harp? That's not auto harp, is it? I don't think that's what it's called. So, but anyway, I could just picture some lady with like a gray bun on her head, and she's playing that, you know, little boxes on the hillside. So speaking of Crocus, you know, I had to get the random Crocus in there. It was auto harp. Is that what it's called? Anyway, I don't know what it's called. But I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of songs like. I know you're a little bit on the young side, but like I said, you have an old soul, which is great. I always love being around young people with old souls, and they always bring off a good vibe. And I always wonder, like, you know, how much of the 80s music do you enjoy? Like, are you like a big fan, or are you just like maybe pieces, parts? What's some of your favorites of the 80s, like as far as genre?
Favorite 80s stuff. That's tricky. I seem to like a bit more of the classic rock feeling 80s stuff. Like I love Billy Squier, love the Cars. But then there's a lot of I do enjoy some 80s era. Yes. I mean, Rush was still killing it. Yeah, I like a lot of the weirder Yes albums, like Drama, where they had fucking Trevor Horn from the Buggles ended up joining Yes for a little while, who wrote Video Killed the Radio Star. He and someone else from them, and they only did the one album, but it's really good. It's a really cool record. I
would have figured you to be a Tormato fan.
You know, not a big Tormato guy. And same Tales from Topographic Oceans took me a long ass time to really get into. Like God, Relayer is one of my favorite records. Yeah, Drama definitely for 80s. Yes, Drama's a biggie.
I went in reverse with Yes. I'd never heard of Yes until the 80s, you know, like when 90125 came out, and then Big Generator after that, and then when I got into college, they actually, that crew, that was the one that had like Trevor Rabin, sorry, was in like the 80s, and then they did an album called Union, where it was kind of the new crew, but with some of the older guys from like way back from like the you know, the live album days from back from the late 60s, and pretty decent album. You know, it's not the greatest, but you know, I think Yes, even Yes has a limit to how much like really good new material they can put out. It's still good. It's just not as, it just doesn't compare to, you know, like, you know, Close to the Edge and you know, stuff like that, you know, south side of the sky, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, so I went in reverse, and then when I got into classic rock, that's when I started discovering some of the older Yes, and I would just play those CDs, the live albums, like the double album they had on loop all the time, because it's just so good. So I'm gonna make a request. I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it or not, but what about Boston? Are you a fan of Boston?
I am. I don't know any, and I should. That'd be fun to do some acoustic takes of.
I guess for acoustic take, probably their biggest one was probably More Than a Feeling. You know, More Than a Feeling. Or as a buddy of mine used to do that's a great song. I think that's off of the self-titled Boston from like the mid 70s, but it's called More of the Feeling. But a friend of mine used to say Morgan Freeman. And it's like Morgan Freeman, I hear that old song, babe, Morgan Freeman. I got into Boston a lot back then too. Especially when I started working classic rock. Oh Jesus! Because when I grew up, all we had was like top 40 stations that I could listen to. You could hear WRNO out of New Orleans, but only at night, right? Because it was like we were like 90, about 100 miles away from New Orleans, and so at night you could hear it very well. But during the daytime, I guess it was just, I don't know why you couldn't hear it during the daytime, but. So at night, you'd just be kind of listening, and I'd hear some Pink Floyd every once in a while, bring in some Zeppelin, maybe some Jethro Tull, and just like all this stuff. Well, damn, there goes my request. Never mind. Foreplay Long Time. That's great too. That's a Foreplay Long Time. So Foreplay is the instrumental, and it goes into Long Time. It's been such a long time. I think I should be going. That's a great driving song. So if you're like on a long stretch that's really straight on the highway, because it builds, right? You got the instrumental that he's on the Hammond B3, playing the dun dun, and it's great. And then it goes into this, as it's going into a Long Time, you hear this dun, 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 and it's almost like a takeoff, like you're in a rocket. You're like, yeah, let's go, baby. I got a few tickets from playing that song because I sped a little bit. I was a little bit of a speeder back then. So anyway, back to the countdown. So please continue. I'm sorry, you're on a roll, and I'm just I'm just kind of the roadblock here with songs that no one else likes. Probably that was me. So what else you got for us?
Let's see.
And Fleetwood Mac. Yes, Fleetwood Mac's pretty good too, gamer. I really liked Rumors. Is obviously that's like their mainstay, and there's so many good songs on Rumors. I think Silver Springs, I don't know if you remember in the 90s, they did like a Fleetwood Mac Unplugged, and they got everybody together and they played, I think was it called Silver Springs? And that song was originally supposed to be on the Rumors album, but it didn't make the cut. So they ended up putting it on their MTV Unplugged album that they did. So little info for the kids out there. So very good song. I love that song too. So anyway, please continue.
All right, let's see. What name is that? Actually, can I do? All right, I haven't played this in a hot second. Let's see. So, one of my favorite bands of recent years has been Death Cab for Cutie. Not their last few albums, but early mid-era. The album Narrow Stairs, especially front to back, was just flawless. One of my favorite drummers living. This song has a few moments that I feel like Elton John should be calling them about, but it's still a really killer song. If I can play it without a capo, let's see. Yeah, this is called Kath.
Cat, she stands with a well-intentioned man, but she can't relax with his hands on the small of her back. And as the flash bulbs burst, she holds a smile like someone would hold a crying child. Soon everybody will ask, what became of you? When your heart was dying fast and you didn't know what to do. Oh, cat, well, it seemed that you live in someone else's dreams, in a hand-me-down wedding dress, where the things they could have been are oppressed. But you said your vows, and you closed the door on so many men who would have loved you more. Soon everybody will ask, what became of you? Oh, when your heart was dying fast and you didn't know what to do. And the whispers that it won't last roll up and down the pews. If their hearts were dying that fast, they'd have done the same as you. Kath, I'd have done the same as you.
Free bird! Free bird! Ow! Fuck! Why they don't do that anymore. Kind of hard to do that at a concert with a vape. You know, you're just kind of hitting the button. You're going, it's going,
Right.
free bird. I guess people use their phones now at concerts, right? That's their thing. What an end of an era there. I do remember the days when people could bring lighters into a venue, and then they'd be like, and then they turn it on. Hey, Willie Bragg Show. What's up, Willie? My fellow Gen Xer in the mix. Good to see you, Willie. Folks, if you're not checking out Willie Bragg Show on YouTube, please do so. He has a lot of great political insight on things that's going on right now, and the more sensible and intelligent voices in the space that we can get, the better. So let me kind of fast forward to maybe like late 80s, early 90s, kind of on the cusp of grunge you know, I guess Nirvana was probably the first one to really like open the door to that era. And then you know, then you got people like Soundgarden. Who's the band? Who did Rooster and Dirt?
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains. And a lot of that centered around too at the time when the movie Singles came out in the early 90s.
Such a great movie. Oh my god.
That soundtrack, I mean, the movie is great, but that soundtrack, Jesus Lord. Paul Westerberg has a couple cuts on there. I think he used to sing with the Replacements. Maybe I'm probably fucking that up. But another album too around that time. Well, another movie was the movie Say Anything, which really breaks my heart because I was a huge John Cusack fan back then, and now that he's like a total shit lib, fuck that guy. But so old John Cusack could go fuck himself, but young John Cusack and those, because on that album you had Fishbone and you had Red Hot Chili Peppers, like well before the Peppers got big. You know, I think Taste the Pain was on there. Great album. Like those two always just stick out in my mind. I mean, it's like, is there any particular song that you like to play from that era that really like hits home for you?
I mean, for me, late 80s, early 90s, especially like pre-grunge and grunge adjacent, I go to REM for like my pre-grunge. Their late 80s phase.
I guess maybe they were the ones that they were like them, and maybe The Cure kind of like was like the handing off the baton sort of, and like making, you know, for the next group to actually build upon what they did. I'm sorry, but please continue.
No, you're fine. I'm trying to think of anything from that era. I wish I could do Possum Kingdom by the Toadies, but I couldn't do that without waking my kid up right now. That'd be impossible.
What about Poi Dog Pondering? Okay, all right, so there's a little backstory to this. Okay, so you know, growing up, you know, before you had like, you could download music stuff, you had to go to these places called record stores, right? And so you go in there, and yeah, you know, back in my day, we had to go to this place and then give this guy money and he'd give you the shit. And so you know, you look through everything's in alphabetical order and you're looking through, and then I'm always looking through it. I get to the P's and they get to Poi Dog Pondering. I'm like, who the fuck is this? So before Crocus became my go-to, you know, pull a group out of your ass, it was Poi Dog Pondering. But like, I guess, I don't know, that, you know, like Echo and the Bunnymen, Joy Division, stuff like that, New Order. I got into those later, before they, you know, after they were already popular, you know?
Oh, nice. It's been a while. A long time ago, I had a Smiths tune under my belt. And, yeah, you know what? The next time we do one of these, I'd love to learn, like Just Like Heaven by The Cure, and pull out a few things from there. We'll do a late 80s, early 90s show one night, because that'd be fantastic.
Oh man. I'm going to put in a request for that show right now, because I want to hear, if you can, or if you already know it, that's great, but if you can't, if you could please learn Seasons by I think it's Chris, I don't think it's Soundgarden, I think it's just Chris Cornell. It's on that, it's on that Singles soundtrack. That acoustic is just so haunting. It's like that. Is so, and then just the way that the energy in that song builds to the end, you're just like, oh,
yeah,
so good, so good. So anyway, that's my personal request for next time. So,
okay.
But
I'm excited for next time now. Shit.
I know I'm giving you homework. Your assignment, if you choose to accept it, next time you come on, which will be fairly soon, obviously, because the kids dig you. You know, if 20 people are up at 2 a.m. listening, you know you're doing good things. So, you know, you're the crowd pleaser. Yes, sir.
REM wise, top of my head, I don't really know any early. This isn't new by any means, but this was one of my favorite REM songs that when I ended up discovering Big Star years later and listened to their stuff, it's how I realized, like, oh, this is why I love REM so much. And Tom Petty especially, but REM, this was one of those songs that now I just hear Big Star. But this was always one of my my favorite songs of theirs. So.
Charades, pop skill, water hyacinth, named by a poet, imitation of life. Like a koi in a frozen pond, like a goldfish in a bowl. I don't want to hear you cry. That sugar cane that tasted good, that cinnamon, that's Hollywood. Come on, no one can see you try. Want the greatest thing since bread came sliced. You've got it all, you've got it sized. Like a Friday fashion show teenager, freezing in the corner. Try and look like you don't try. That sugar cane that tasted good, that cinnamon, that's Hollywood. Come on, no one can see you try. That sugar cane, this lemonade, this hurricane, I'm not afraid. Come on, no one can see me cry. This lightning storm, this tidal wave, this avalanche, I'm not afraid. Come on, no one can see me cry. That sugar cane that tasted good, that's who you are, that's what you could. Come on, no one can see you try.
Awesome. I gotta say, this is probably going to be an unpopular thing, but that's all right. I wasn't like a super fan of REM, but I always liked the covers. I always liked people who did covers of REM.
Yeah.
Although, you know, End of the World as We Know It, I do love that song though. That's just like, it's just so much fun and crazy and so apropos these days. You know, and I feel fine. You know, that's the only part of the song that's, you know, not realistic.
Oh man.
The Wailer. What did you like The Cure? Were you a fan of The Cure?
Not super fan, but there are a few songs that I absolutely love. Yeah, and again, people's Cure covers I've always been a huge fan of.
Yeah, it's I think I think I was in too many bars in my younger days, but not for the drinking so much as there for the music. And you know, you hear a lot of covers, and you know, it just kind of sticks with you. And then you hear the original, and you're like, I don't know. Like some of the songs you were doing tonight, what was the one you did? What is life? What is love?
What is love? Yeah.
You know, of course, like, you know, I grew up in that era, and I just heard that over and over and over again, and just now. But listening to your version of it, it's just amazing. It's like a brand new song. So kudos to you. We're getting pretty close to 2 hours.
Let me see if I can pull a whaler out. Yeah, I got a couple more in me.
Okay, good. Okay.
One of my favorite. Sorry.
I'm like Willie. He said he's 53 and he's still up. I'm 53. I'm still up. So like I said, please, you play as long as you want to, right? That's the way we roll.
So I actually did a song from this on my last episode of American Tradition. A band that I was familiar with, but I was never like a diehard fan of, called Thrice, did a concept album. That's like one of my favorite concept albums ever, where they did 4 EPs that are water, earth, air, and fire. Water has this cool muted kind of like techno, but the beat is so buried that it's like really soothing and lush. Like if there was techno going on, but you're in the bathroom of the club and like you're hearing it through the walls, like it is this very underwater kind of muted beat, very dreamy songs. Fire was extremely heavy, distorted, screamy. Earth was all raw acoustic, kind of hardwood floor, single room take kind of songs. And then Air was all fast and wispy and honestly the weakest of the 4. But I did a song from the Earth album on American Tradition last week. This is a song from the Water album. This is called The Whaler, if I can remember how it all goes.
My lover's arms, well, they beg me to stay. And I know this song, they will take me away. But my daughter's eyes, they are 2 tiny seas, whose waters will rise when they run down her cheeks. Father, where do you go? So far out across the sea. When are you coming home to me? Darling, where do you leave? As the north wind begins to blow, will you be coming home to me? Oh, and the blade, they are all that I know. The sea calls my name, and there so I must go. While they still sleep, well, I slip out the door. But how can I leave when my anger is sore? Father, where do you go? It's farther than I can see. Will you be coming home to me? Darling, why do you leave? As the north wind winds to blow, will you be coming home to me?
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I really dig that show of yours, American Tradition. You and Indy, it's like you and Tara, like kind of splitting duties on the Tuesday nights. It's just amazing, and to hear you telling like some of the stories behind the songs, particularly, your own music, because those stories so well. And, it's just, I think that's people like the kind of music that you do with the spoken word and, with the heavy political influence on it. A lot of people might tend to be turned off just knowing that it's somewhat political, but the way you go about telling a story about the song, and it kind of makes it a little bit more not palatable, but just like for people who are just so rigid in their thinking, it kind of it does. It makes them kind of think twice, like, well, maybe I should be listening to this, and maybe I should, it's great music, but the words too are just amazing. Hey, Miguel, good to see you, man. So yeah, we're getting close to the end. I think maybe we got time for maybe one more for you before you turn into a pumpkin. So I know I'm starting to turn into a pumpkin, or the heat miser from those Rankin Bass Hollywood the holiday specials. Anyway, I tend to ramble this late in the evening, but what do you want to close out with us tonight?
We're gonna close out with Beatles. It only seems right.
Oh, of course, sounds good. I know a certain person in the chat would appreciate that too.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of stellar waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru Deva, nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes. They call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Sounds of laughter, shades of earth are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Nothing's gonna change my world. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva. Jai Guru Deva.
Groovy.
Goddamn right, it's groovy. You know, the sad thing is, like, yeah, we could probably do this all morning, but you know, you have,
I know.
you're kind of like a family man with like responsibilities and stuff. So it's always like kind of bittersweet. You know, you get to the end and you feel good about the show, and your performance is always, you know, top shelf. And, you know, but then we have to like, you know, tell everybody to fuck off and go home. So, you know, it's like kind of a downer. I guess you don't have to be that, you know, that harsh, but you know,
get the fuck out of here, you vultures.
you get to be me and Willie's age. There's no filter anymore. You just kind of like, yeah, it's just, you got, instead of like the factory filter that goes in there, you've just stuffed some toilet paper in there, so you don't really care if it like actually filters or not. You're just pretending.
What's the filter?
I think I can speak for everybody in chat that it was great performance as usual. I always appreciate you coming on. I at least get you on once a month for this. So this is going to be your,
seriously,
at least once a month. This is going to be your Scooby-Doo hangout. You know, you take over this, and
next time too, I will be doing some select readings from Scott Stapp's autobiography, Sinner's Creed, which is just heavenly. So we're
I'd buy that for $1.
yeah. Oh, you forgot about my little friend, did you?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I wasn't ready for that. Oh,
nobody expects RoboCop, and nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. So, Cynical says, where else can someone singing At Last to a plate of ribs? Right?
That's
you know, singing to the meat. We've got the meats. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, there'll be more of those stupid things in here pretty soon. I added this too, but I don't know what context this is, but we'll just play it for the fun of it. I played it last. I don't really know where that fits in the grand scheme. Anyway, thanks, Jesse. I appreciate you. Anything do you have American Tradition coming up this Tuesday, or what's going on with you?
Tuesday after.
Okay. What
But,
you got more songs you're writing? You're always writing songs though, right? You're always
I am. Yeah,
doing that, right?
I'm in the middle of kind of producing 3 or 4. I actually next time I'm on, I'll have a couple little demos ready to premiere for the next thing. So
Right on.
yeah, I got everything, all 10 pieces written for the spoken word album. I just got to record them, and think the music side will only be like an EP. I might be like 6 or 7 tracks. So we're working on 3 of those simultaneously, because why
That's cool.
have one project that you focus on when you could have like 9 that you just spread yourself really thin amongst?
Right.
That's always been my philosophy.
Everybody loves a challenge, Jesse. So yeah, especially something that has the potential to make you snap and curse out people at the Stop and Shop. So
I never got a chance to use the Nerf gun for this occasion with the laser sight and everything.
It hurts. It feels like 1980 with lasers. That was the whole deal of the 80s, like lasers. But they used to have the laser light shows. I don't know if they still do or not, but like at the planetariums and stuff, you go there, that's like Pink Floyd laser light show, and then people get in there and like smoking pot and shit. It was great. Can't do that now, I don't think. I don't know. That's a era that's long gone.
The places I can smoke weed in more.
Well, that's true. Well, yeah. Now, edibles. You can do the edible before you go to the Pink Floyd laser light show. I think they still have laser light shows. I'm gonna investigate that, and I'll come back with my findings next time on the secret show. But I do have a request. So, Seasons by Chris Cornell. If you could investigate that, if you, because I think like with your vocal range, I think you and Chris Cornell kind of have like a similar, I don't know, kind of like a similar
huge vocal inspiration. His first solo album, Euphoria Morning, is maybe my, like, if I get like one record on a desert island, it might be that one. My favorite song of all time is a song on that album called Preaching the End of the World, which I'll have to play sometime. But Chris will hold at the very end of a note and do a little lilt up. And I when I was learning vocals as a kid, that was like, I was like, oh my God, I want to be able to do that. And there are several songs I do that in that kind of just became like, if I could do it, I was going to do it, But yeah, Chris was a huge vocal inspiration. And one of the musical losses that hit me the hardest, he and Amy Winehouse, those were both gut punches.
Yeah, I totally, Amy Winehouse, God rest her soul, I guess you can kind of understand, but, I mean, it sucks. You don't understand, but you know what I mean? It's like, but Chris Cornell was just like, whoa. Yep. He just said, fuck it, I don't know what was going through his head. Maybe he knew something we didn't, maybe he had that sight into the future, and he said it just ain't worth it. But it is a loss, a huge loss. Amy Winehouse too. So maybe you'll play some Amy Winehouse next time you come on too. Do you know any Amy Winehouse?
I do. Yeah.
Well, you've played some before. Yeah, you've played some before.
I've done Valerie before. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just kind of keep that in there.
All right.
Let me shout out everybody in the chats before we get out of here. I appreciate everybody, watching this late. If you're on the East Coast, wow, you were like some crazy people.
We just over 220, folks. Look at us.
220. That means, wait a minute, it's 420 in the middle of the Atlantic.
Ooh, well,
smoke them if you got them, Aquaman. Shout outs to Brandy and Cynic, SFT, good to see you, Gamer, of course, and Miguel, Ghost Start, Jimmy, love you, Jimmy. We got who else we got in the mix? Willie Bragg. Willie Bragg is he's one of my new favorites. I love Willie. He's got a great show on YouTube, and he's an old cat like me, so we got us Gen Xers gotta stick together. Brandy, good to see you. I know Ed was in here a while ago.
You know what? Real quick, I noticed we got Les Bones still in the chat. I was at work the other day and I was super busy, but INN was in the group chat. There was a conversation about how when we had our little roundtable meeting, Indy was calling Les out and they're like, announce yourself, talk about what you do. And he was like, I don't do anything. And that's total bullshit, because I just want to say for the record, no member of INN doesn't contribute. Like, even if you feel like you don't do a lot, like in your case, especially Les, they're like just the support of the likes and retweets keeps me going in times when I'm like shadow banned and shit. And I would argue that every member of the collective is essential in the, I hate using that word, but like integral to the final output. Just like the dude that was like the sound manipulator for Mars Volta, or the guy that plays the triangle or bongo for them, he's still that's pitching in the final sound. Brockhampton, there's like 14 dudes in that band. One of them literally was just like a vibe curator. One of them just said "Me amo Roberto" at the beginning of every music video, but he was still on the Wikipedia page for members of the band. So for the record, yeah, you're every bit as important as everyone else, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, or I'll fucking write a diss track about them.
Right? No, I had to tell him that the other day too. It's just like, yeah, there is no dead weight as far as like the family's concerned. Everybody's got their roles. Everybody, I would say that people like Les Bones, who is a producer of this show, by the way, him and Indy Lep are the backbone, because they support us, right? And they, like you said, they share our stuff out and they spread the word. And me being someone that is huge on communications, you can never underestimate how or overestimate how important communication is, and love and support. And so like folks like Les Bones and Big Mad Crab, love Crab, Crab does some great, he does like him and Jimmy, they do like really good like graphics works and stuff like that. So and INN itself is not even a year old yet. I think coming up in a couple months. I think Indy said December would be the anniversary. Wow. And look how much we've all done in less than a year.
Is gonna be
pants optional. Just saying. But it might be cold. So
we do a Christmas stream. I might even take my shoes off for once, because I'm fully dressed every live stream.
That's just crazy talk.
It's 2:30 in the morning. I got shoes on. Let's talk about that. Who is this guy? I don't know.
What the hell? Well, you're at Camp David. You got to keep it somewhat formal.
Exactly. That's one of the rules.
Hey, Austin Jones showing up at the last second, but better late than never. I hope I got everybody. I think I caught everybody in the chat. Miguel, got you. Go start. I know some other folks are here. Ed was here. Aussie, good to see you. Aussie Oracle, one of my pals from down under. That's what one of the things about like our Twitter, we have like some group chats and stuff like that, and just like getting to know and meeting people from all over the world who are in the same boat that we are, basically. They have the same kind of problems, the same kind of bullshit that's going on. Charlie Matt, good to see you, sir. And it's that forming of solidarity with everybody around the world. That's what's going to make this planet a better place, is staying true to each other, helping each other out, mutual aid, direct actions together, just trying to I don't know, make the world a better place in spite of the fuckers that are trying to destroy it.
Yeah.
So let me shout out Rockville real quick. Fred, resistance is futile. Yes, we are the Borg. Denver Attaway, thank you so much. Kate, I appreciate you too. Thank you for the sub, by the way, to the YouTube channel. You're very sweet. The price is right too. It's absolutely free. So, you know, all it costs is just a bit of your time. So, any final thoughts? Anything you want to say to the gang? Anything you want to say as we get the fuck out of here?
I don't think so. No, stay fresh. Don't do drugs unless you're just bored.
Yeah, I mean, get a hobby, but you know, no hobbies. Yeah, have fun with the drugs.
Come here. I need to get a kitty.
We're one of the few channels. Probably Reef does it too. Oh, Reef was here too. Reef will probably say, "Yeah, do drugs. It'll be fine." But thank you, everybody.
What's happen, right?
Right? You know, if you're on the freeway, you know, driving, wearing sunglasses at night, like Corey Hart. That would be actually a good song to do, like a really, like a.
The blame on the guy with the shades.
That's my favorite part of the song. I don't even know the words. I just kind of just make the shit up. Anyway, we gotta get the fuck out of here. I think we're starting to get a little punch drunk, which can be good at certain times, but probably not right now. So, we're gonna do let's see. So next week, next Friday and Saturday, we'll do this again. Hopefully, Miss Jimmy Sunderland will be joining me again on Friday. Not sure who'll be here Saturday, maybe just me. May have surprise guests. We'll see. As for Extra Bulla, the main show, I'm still looking for a guest for next week. I might do it again on Thursday. I'm not sure. So that'll be the season premiere for that show.
Ooh,
I really enjoy, I always like doing this kind of thing. I always like having guests going one-on-one, just asking them just like questions that not really a lot of people ask, you know, because it's good to find, it's good to get to know people for what they do, you know, as like an artist who is trying to push society in a positive direction, you know, and who are doing good works, you know, activists, journalists, but also just finding out if another side of the human, you know, what makes them tick. And it makes people want to get to know you more, right? It's almost like it's like a trust thing. You're like, I'm giving you a little piece of me that I don't normally give to everybody. Take that and, you know, appreciate it. And maybe you'll give me a little trust back in exchange. But anyway, I'm rambling. We got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Wash your ass. Keep it clean. Or not. I'm not your dad. Or am I? Yeah, we won't answer that one. Good night, everybody. Woohoo! That kitty. That kitty. What happened?
Shut up, bitch!